This is big breaking emergency news. They are now releasing them. They are now being released. They are mass releasing these GMO mosquitoes again into the air, and they are now genetically modified for a new disease, right? We also have a health alert and a health warning being issued for the spread of diseases in the South. That's now being issued as well. There have been many cases that have been spread by these mosquitoes, all right? So, and now in response, they're releasing more GMO mosquitoes, all right? So you need to be prepared. You need to be ready. You need to be given informed consent about this, because they just released this and nobody's told, nobody's given warning, and it's just normal. It's supposed to be normal that we now have GMO mosquitoes being released into the environment that could be biting us. So we need to be on high alert, because something could be going on. Something else behind the scenes could be going on. I don't like this. I don't like these GMO mosquito releases. I don't like anything being genetically manipulated and then also released onto the public at will. All right, this is already happening with our food supply. All right, that's already bad enough, and now it's being released into the air as well. So these things can potentially bite you. We don't know what the long-term side effects of these things are, and a lot of these GMO mosquitoes are actually genetically altered to be dependent on antibiotics. They genetically alter them, so the only way they can live is if they eat this special kind of antibiotic. All right, but the problem with that is this type of antibiotic is all over the place. It's used in farms. It's used all over. It's in runoff. It's in lakes. It's dumped all over the place. It's in our water supply. And these mosquitoes could potentially find access to these antibiotics in the wild somewhere and create resistance and survive. That is the major issue with these. And then now we have this super antibiotic resistant mosquito, GMO mosquito. What's that going to do? This could be a whole nother vector for diseases that we're opening up. All right, so let's dive into this news here really quick, guys. Hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Post them multiple times a day, keeping you guys updated. All right, and check this out though. Right, Florida has issued an alert for multiple diseases that are spreading throughout the state right now. All right, we've seen multiple cases in 2024, and they are warning that we are seeing dengue and malaria outbreaks in Florida. And they're warning that we could see even more due to spring break. All right, so you can see here, and we are also getting release of millions of GMO mosquitoes. We'll get to that in just a second. I'll show that article in a second. You can see here, though, in 2024, 59 travel-associated dengue cases were reported, mainly from visitors from Cuba. It says 4 cases of locally acquired dengue have been reported in 2 counties this year. It says in 2023, positive samples from 186 humans were reported from 5 counties. It says also in 2024, 12 cases of malaria have been reported in individuals with travel from Africa, right? And it says in 2023, 7 locally acquired malaria cases were reported in Sarasota. So they're warning there have been dozens and dozens of cases in 2024 alone in Florida, and they're worried that we could see a spike and a spread of these from one open mass migration into our country. All right, that's how a lot of this stuff is happening, because mosquitoes travel, and then also things like dengue fever. Somebody could be bit, they could have 0 symptoms. They could be bit by an infected mosquito, 0 symptoms, and then another mosquito, they travel to the United States, another mosquito bites them. That mosquito now has dengue fever, and that mosquito can go bite someone else and transfer it to them now. All right, so that's how these things work. That's why it's very sketchy to be genetically altering these mosquitoes and releasing them en masse on the public, right? So they release these mosquitoes just a few years ago, millions of them, hundreds of millions of them. I believe it was 500 million mosquitoes, insane amounts, right? And now we are seeing millions of mosquitoes being released from Brazil, right? So it says a dengue fighting strategy that is involving releasing bacteria-infected mosquitoes will be rolled out to 6 Brazilian cities in the coming months as the country battles a severe outbreak of dengue fever, a viral disease transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito. And that is why they are saying they're releasing them, because they are having one of the worst years they've ever had with this fever. And they're saying it's hundreds of times higher than previous recent years, this outbreak that is spreading. All of a sudden, spreading out of nowhere, it's flaring up. And they are also pushing in Brazil right now that they have a new dengue fever vaccine. And they are pushing this and trying to have a major campaign for it throughout the country. All right, this new one, they are saying just came from Japan, apparently. This new one they just made when all this stuff's going on. Same time. All right, so you need to be getting prepared. You need to be getting ready. This is definitely something that's on the table and in the cards. And especially the U.S. shouldn't even have to worry about this, but our borders are wide open. And we're having malaria enter the country as well. And they're even saying that most of these cases are being brought in. They're being brought in to Florida. Those were just cases in Florida alone. All right, there are hundreds and hundreds of cases throughout the country. All right, there's dozens and dozens in Florida alone. So be prepared, be on the lookout. This situation could be exploited, right? And I'm concerned about these GMO mosquitoes being released as well. All right, you heard that, how they were describing it. They were describing them as bacteria infected mosquitoes, right? And I'm telling you, that sounds like the antibiotic ones where they release this GMO bacteria in their gut, right, that kills them. And if they don't get antibiotics, it kills the mosquito. But they can get access to these antibiotics. And then what does that do to this GMO bacteria? All this stuff. We just keep introducing more and more vector points. What even is this GMO made with? Right? It's probably made with another animal's DNA. Right? That's how it's normally made. A lot of times it's spliced, like say corn, GMO corn. They splice it with scorpion DNA. So it produces the BT that's a pesticide that kills moths. It makes their stomach dissolve when they eat it. Right? So the corn is genetically modified to produce this BT, this toxin, right? And now we're eating it too. The corn is growing it because it had scorpion DNA inserted into it. And that's now a potential vector as well. Now there's insect DNA inside the corn DNA, and that could open things up, right? And especially when we are dealing with mosquitoes, potentially this could happen as well because they are biting humans. They get into your blood. They're able to suck your blood. Very sketchy. Very, very dangerous when we are modifying mosquitoes like this. And there are a whole other host of other programs as well that they're doing with mosquitoes too, that are extremely dystopian. All of these things are taking away our consent. I don't want to be bit by any of these mosquitoes. I don't want to be bit by their offspring. Anything. It's not foolproof. It hasn't been studied for long enough. They don't know exactly what's going to happen, right? So make sure you're getting prepared. Make sure you're getting ready, right? Get stocked up. Go check out my video I posted earlier, right? I'm giving you guys my predictions for this solar eclipse on April 8th, right? My predictions, and I lay out all the evidence. of previous solar eclipse and previous major disasters that happened that were very similar to these solar eclipses, almost exactly the same. All right, so go check out that video. It's an important video. People need to know, and I think that is what they're getting ready for. All right, so thank you guys. Hope you have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.